Well, let's concentrate on the events in Ukraine now with Yuriy, who's an advisor to Ukraine's Minister of Defence. Yuriy, welcome to the programme. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me.
What's the latest, as far as you know it, from Lysychansk?
The latest that we've heard and that we know that is happening in Lysychansk is that indeed the situation is very, very intense. There is continued shelling, there is continued ground offensive of the Russian forces, and the city is not yet under full control of the Russian forces, but the situation is very, very difficult.
So when the Russian-backed separatists say they have successfully entered the city and reached its centre, you're saying that's not happened as far as you're aware?
Well, we've seen it many times with respect to other cities as well. You know, Severodonetsk most recently, Russians claim that they have full control of the city, and then 3 weeks on, the defense of the city still continues and they're not in full control. So we recommend to trust only the official statements of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. And according to their latest early morning report, the defense of Lysychansk continues, but as our Minister of Defense has said recently in his interview, Ukraine values human life very highly. So if it is necessary, we can retreat and then with a view to liberating our cities in the future. But at the moment, the fighting still continues, and the situation, like I said, is very difficult.
How important is Lysychansk, is this city, to this war as it stands at the moment from your point of view?
Well, Lysychansk is the last remaining city of the Lugansk Oblast, of the Lugansk region. And essentially, if Russian forces capture Lysychansk, they will be able to claim that the whole of the Lugansk region has been occupied by them and they are in full control, which means that they will then focus on further extending their ground offensive on other parts of the Donbass area.
Hence your determination to resist this as far as you can.
Well, indeed, we are resisting it as far as we can, and with the support of the military assistance from our international partners, it's a very dynamic war, which we've said before, and there have been instances where Ukrainian armed forces would retreat from certain areas and they would recapture them later. Right now, at the moment, that Ukrainian armed forces have been able to liberate the Snake Island in the Black Sea. There are some counteroffensive taking place in the south of Ukraine, the Kherson region. So it's a dynamic war, and we're determined to continue the fight, and we will liberate Ukraine.
And what's happening to people living in Lysychansk amidst all this?
Well, because of the intense shelling, which is targeted at Lysychansk, of course, the humanitarian situation is very precarious, and evacuations are not really possible at the moment. But until very recently, it was possible to deliver humanitarian aid to Lysychansk, and we'll have to see what happens during the next day or two.
But it's safe to assume that for those still there, this is a wretched time for them.
Well, indeed it is. Indeed it is, because as it was the case with Severodonetsk, Russian war criminals, they're using the scorched earth tactics. They are razing cities to the ground, and then they're entering the cities when essentially there's nothing there to defend. So they are doing now with Lysychansk what they've done previously with Severodonetsk. They're razing it to the ground with all the weaponry that they have.
Thank you for coming on the programme. Yuriy, advisor to Ukraine's Minister of Defence.